Let me guess. You work hard. You're competent. You fix problems that weren't even yours. And somehow, the most toxic person in the office just got promoted. Not the smartest. Not the most capable. The most difficult. If you've ever watched that happen, this will permanently change how you see work. Because toxic people don't get promoted despite their behavior. They get promoted because of it. And once you see why, you can't unsee it. I've spent years studying workplace psychology, leadership selection, and power dynamics. What I found is uncomfortable. If you don't understand this, you don't just stay stuck. You get quietly punished for actually being good. You were taught a lie, a comforting one, that work is a meritocracy, that results speak for themselves, that if you keep your head down, the right people will notice. It works in school. It works early in your career. Then it betrays you, because promotions don't go to the best workers. They go to the people who control perception. Here's the brutal rule. Performance gets you hired. Perception gets you promoted. Most managers don't actually understand your job. They don't see invisible labor. They don't measure effort or difficulty. They decide based on confidence, visibility, and how someone makes them feel. Toxic people are exceptional at one thing, managing up. They don't focus on the work. They focus on the audience. While you're producing results, they're producing narratives. So if you felt confused about why effort stopped working, this is why. But that still doesn't explain the most disturbing part. You might wonder why arrogance, manipulation, and ruthlessness don't hurt careers, but actually accelerate them. This is where dark psychology comes in. Psychologists call it the Dark Triad. Narcissism, Machiavellianism, subclinical psychopathy. Different traits but the same ruthless core. Low empathy and high self-interest. And here's the uncomfortable truth. In corporate environments, these traits often look like leadership. Narcissists walk into rooms like they belong there. They speak in absolutes. They never sound unsure. Managers confuse certainty for competence. Machiavellians know exactly who to flatter, who to ignore, and who to sacrifice. That gets labeled as political skill. Low-empathy individuals make brutal decisions without hesitation. They use layoff, conflict, and crisis. That gets called executive toughness. Multiple studies show narcissists emerge as leaders faster. Machiavellians climb higher in hierarchies. Empathy decreases as power increases. Not because they're better leaders, but because they're better candidates. Here's the question you should start asking at work. Does this person create results or just certainty? Because certainty is seductive, especially to insecure leadership. But even that isn't the full picture. The biggest reason toxic people rise has less to do with them and more to do with a word you are extremely familiar with. The word managers. Every workplace runs on a hidden economy. Not money, not productivity. Ego. People promote those who make them feel smart, safe, important. Toxic people are masters at this. They agree upward. They challenge downward. They never threaten the boss's identity. High performers do the opposite by accident. You point out risks. You surface problems. You improve systems. And without meaning to, you make insecure leaders feel exposed. So they don't promote you. They promote the person who never makes them uncomfortable. That's the ego economy. And if you don't understand it, you're always overgiving and under-advancing. Here's where it gets really uncomfortable. Many managers don't promote the best person. They promote the least threatening one. Toxic people are predictable. They don't challenge authority. They don't question decisions publicly. They don't expose leadership blind spots. They say, "Great call. You're right. I'll handle it," even when they're wrong. High performers are dangerous, not because you're malicious, but because you see problems. To an insecure manager, that doesn't sound like value. Sounds like a huge risk. So who gets promoted? The person who creates no friction, takes no moral stand, and makes leadership feel in control. Toxic people don't create waves. They create cover. Ask yourself this. If you were insecure, who would you promote? The person who makes you look good or the person who makes you look better. Those are not the same. And this feeds the most destructive illusion of all: short-term success. Toxic leaders often deliver fast results. They cut corners, pressure teams, burn people out, take credit aggressively. In the short term, metrics look great. Revenue spikes, deadlines get hit, problems appear handled. Leadership or the management thinks, this works. What they don't see is the delayed damage. High performers quietly leave. Trust collapses. Psychological safety disappears. By the time the damage is obvious, the toxic leader is already promoted again, or gone with a better title. This is failure that looks like success, and companies fall for it constantly. Here's a simple test. If this person vanished tomorrow, would the team thrive or collapse? Toxic leaders leave wreckage. Good leaders leave systems. Now here's the part that might sting. You've probably been told to just be yourself. Focus on your work. Stay out of politics. That advice sounds moral. But guess what? It's also career sabotage. Because politics exist whether you like them or not. Any system with power, scarcity, and hierarchy creates a game. And here's the rule most people miss. Refusing to play doesn't mean you're not playing. It means you're losing by default. Toxic people understand the game. You were taught to ignore it. That doesn't make you virtuous. It makes you unprotected. You don't need to manipulate, but you do need visibility. You need to control your narrative. Build alliances. Protect your reputation. Think of it as defensive awareness. A seatbelt, not a weapon. If you don't adapt, 3 things happen. You burn out, you get stuck, or you leave disillusioned. None of those are wins. Strategic high performers do things differently. They manage visibility. They don't assume good work gets seen. They document reality. Written follow-ups, clear summaries, paper trails. Gaslighting fails when facts exist. They build quiet alliances. People who vouch for them when they're not in the room. They protect egos strategically, not by lying, by framing, and they know when to leave. Some systems don't reward integrity. Staying too long rewires you. Here's the most important thing you need to hear. This was never about you. Toxic people don't rise because you're weak. They rise because systems reward confidence over competence. Because certainty gets mistaken for ability. Because ego beats ethics in broken environments. You weren't naive. You were playing by rules that changed without telling you. And once you see the real rules, you stop blaming yourself. Say this to yourself. I'm not behind. I was just uninformed. Information is leverage. Everything you just learned explains why toxic people rise. But it doesn't explain how toxic companies survive. Because they all depend on the same lie. A lie that sounds reasonable. A lie that feels professional. A lie that keeps good people loyal to broken systems. It's the lie every toxic company tells you. And once you see it, you'll understand why so many smart, young, and capable people stay stuck for years, working harder, giving more, and waiting for something big that never comes. They're not failing. They're being managed by a story that was never designed to let them win. The next video exposes that lie, and why believing it quietly destroys careers, without anyone ever telling you what went wrong. That's the missing piece. Watch that next.